Hey, hello! Welcome to Stick Boys Lab. Today we're going to be doing something kind of weird. We're going to be doing an RC car unbagging. You go, what's an unbagging? RC car unbagging is what happens when you buy a random RC car in a gas station parking lot. We're going to open a bag and see what's in there. I've not really looked at the car, bought it off of a Facebook marketplace, and so we're just going to look in here and see what we got. Here we go. Plastic grocery bag full of stuff. Let's see what's in here. We have got transmitter. It is marked RCR-2C Redcat Racing 2.4 gigahertz. We have got a cage chassis of some sort. I'm assuming this is the body of it. Looks interesting. And we have four-wheel drive, electric, buggy, brushed motor, 6-cell battery that appears to be in pretty bad condition. Speed controller. It doesn't seem like anything's stripped out. We have a broken shock tower. And we have some steering linkage that's messed up. So I guess, and we have a wall wart style battery charger. So I guess what we're going to do next is we'll pull the camera in here, get a little closer look at what's going on. I have no clue what model this is. Apparently it's a Redcat. I'll pull the camera in, get a little better shot at this, and then I'll probably put the battery on the charger, see if it takes a charge, and then get some batteries in the controller and see what we've got. We'll go from there. Next up, close-ups. So let's see if we can get this battery charged up and go from there. Next up, close-ups. What we're looking at, we've got an independent suspension buggy. Appears to be roughly 1/10 scale. It's probably a ready-to-run rig. If we pull around this side, you can see the shock tower is missing some chunks, and it's just kind of flopping around there. Still possibly drivable that way. And if you look right up in here, you can see the steering servo is disconnected, and who knows what else. Here we have a brushed motor, and let's flip this thing over, see if there's anything on the bottom. And I'm not really seeing any markings on the bottom either. I have a chunk taken out of the pan right there. So I guess I'll do some poking around, try to figure out what this thing is, see if the battery will take a charge, and go from there. Oh, let's look at this. Let's look at this cage, Redcat Racing 03. Not quite sure how all this is supposed to sit, but possibly something like that. Interesting. Well, it's getting chilly out here in the shop, so I'm going to stop this and stop shivering. You can see the camera shake. Bye-bye. So here we are back again with the random Redcat. Did a little bit of looking into this thing, and it seems like it's a sandstorm or something. A lot of the body panels are busted off of the cage. It was kind of a Baja buggy type operation. So one of the things that I did is I started troubleshooting the electronics, and there was a couple of really screwy things on it. One is that the servo and speed controller were plugged into the receiver in a really bad way. And after a bit of troubleshooting, came to the conclusion that the stock speed controller was toast, and so I grabbed a random speed controller off the shelf that I had laying around. The speed controller was laying around, not the shelf. And wired it up. The battery, oddly enough, took a charge. I replaced the stock connectors with a Dean's style connector because that's what I had on the speed controller. So that was good. We got the transmitter to bind to the receiver, so that was good. I attempted to rebuild the servo saver here. So we'll put that on today, see if that holds up. I also glued the horn back on the shock tower. So those are some of the things that we'll be doing today, is getting the shock hooked back up, getting the steering servo hooked back up, and hopefully we'll even have time to give it a little rip. So you can see here we've got the shock tower glued back up. I put it together with a little super glue and reinforced it with some goop and aluminum welding rod. Seems like it should be pretty stiff, and it ought to work fine for our needs. I'm just going to screw the ball mount back on here. Grab the wrong tool for the job. Grab the right tool for the job. Yeehaw! That ought to work just fine. So there, we've got that done. We're going to move on to the steering servo, to this servo saver. If you take a look here, it was broken. The whole arm was broken off. All that was left was the little V-shaped thingy bob. And so I took another servo horn and put it on here. I think I'm going to take out the heat gun and heat this up just a little bit and tweak it. So heat gun. And a little bit more. Burning my fingers here. So they must be about done. And that's probably going to be plenty. I'm not 100% sure this will work, but I am 100% sure this is what I'm going to try. So we'll drop that on there, put the little knurled nut on there. The steering seems a little bit stiff, and maybe I should try to do something about that. Also, missing a little hardware off the top of here, which might be important. And a little hardware off the top of here, which also probably important. Looks like that's lining up pretty good. We'll probably have to tweak it a little bit. I have a random bolt here, which should be long enough. Maybe even a little extra long. I'm just going to grab a drill bit here and open that up a little bit. See if we can get this started. And I think I'm going to run that in the other direction. So I've got my stud mounted in here. We'll drop the ball on it. Find a nut. Get the wrong tool for the job. And that ought to do. I'm not going to stick this down at all. I'm just going to let it flop around, because that seems like the proper thing. I'm going to take the battery, slide the battery in here. Oh, blinky light. Perhaps I should have turned the transmitter on first. And it seems like I'm something backwards here. Let's do a little throttle reversal. See how this works now. Better steering. Feels like I'm going to burn my servo out on that steering. I need to loosen up a little bit. But I think it's time for a rippage. So this is why we haven't been outside much, because it's like this. Well, it seems like the battery is about to take a dump on us, so that may just be what we've got for a battery. Hopefully we don't fry any electronics getting it full of snow. Seems like I'm losing steering here. It won't steer. The battery's kind of cutting out here. So we'll head it back inside and let it thaw out. So I'm going to call that a mild success. We'll let the thing thaw out. I've got another battery pack that might hold up a little longer. We'll rip it around a little bit more. It was fun. And we'll see what else is in store later for the random Redcat. Thanks for watching.